This is a first. I do this review series to showcase TV and movies that, good or bad, got pushed to the wayside. Give it a fair shot again. Did it age better? Was this lost series good? Then I remembered the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I hadn't seen this probably about 20 years at this point. I think everyone knows the Mario universe. In the movie's case, Mario. It's one of the most famous video game series. It's really simple. Bowser or Koopa kidnap the princess and a plumber goes and rescues her. The games have all kinds of fun characters, funny villains. Why the hell would you make a live action movie of this series? Not everything can be turned into live action. Some things just do not work with real people. 30 years have passed. You'd think Hollywood would learn from mistakes like this, but they just repeat themselves all the time. The 90s had Mario, the early 2000s had Doom, the 2020s now have the Powerpuff Girls. If you have to change a property to the point of unrecognition, don't make it. This is why Nintendo is extremely protective of their properties, because of what this movie did. What pains me more, Ed Solomon worked on the script of the Mario Bros. Movie, and he wrote the Bill and Ted films. He goes from fun time travel movies to this nonsense. I don't blame him to a degree. How do you translate Mario games, especially at the time games like Galaxy, Sunshine, and Odyssey didn't exist yet? There was not much background to all the characters, and make it work in a live action format. So they basically had to come up with backstory that really doesn't make sense and was never going to live up to the games. The first thing I always wondered, why wasn't this movie an animated movie? It was the 90s, they didn't have the CGI to properly replicate the things from the games like how the Sonic the Hedgehog movie does. An animated movie was really the best shot they had. Now, I won't say everything in the film was crap. I think the casting of Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo was fine. It would have been great if they had done something like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. We have the Koopa universe and the normal universe. They cross dimensions and become a cartoon. The movie was already ripping off things from Roger Rabbit. It ripped off things from Zemeckis in general. I don't know if it would have been better, but it wouldn't have been this bad. The film also feels like it was scrapped ideas from other films that they just stuck together. What's even weirder, the movie is almost like it was grafted on top of a Zelda plot. More things here would work better in a Zelda movie than a Mario movie. Sometime during the age of the dinosaurs, a meteorite impacted the area where New York would be built. It ripped open a gateway to another dimension, which sucked in X amount of dinosaurs. This other dimension has almost no resources. The movie stresses this all over the place. It's the driving force for Koopa, aka Bowser as he's known today. And somehow, over the course of millions of years, the dinosaurs evolved into humans. It's not a good idea when you have a story that makes you ask 100 more questions than actually explaining what it's about. The plot breaks down, all because they're trying to A, explain the Koopa universe in a live action setting, and B, this is all done because they had a limited budget to make the movie. This is just the beginning of the stupidity. We gotta tackle more of what they did with the other game elements and how the whole thing of the meteorite doesn't make damn sense. The movie is filled with, oh, this happens because we need this character not be able to do X. It's that type of crap. It breaks down when you just think about it for 10 minutes. Now, before I go insane, let me talk about Mario and Luigi. The games do not have much to go on. Mario games are not mainly story-driven. It's just a cool setting, game mechanics, fun graphics, challenging gameplay, stop the bad guy. This does give the writers open rein on creating a character. Even some things established in the film ended up being used in the games. Luigi Mario, Mario Mario, it was a joke in the film that was funny, and Miyamoto ended up making that their real last names. In general, Luigi and Mario were fine. They're the only characters in the entire film that's the closest fans get to see something from a proper Mario game. Both actors did a good job. The key things of Mario and Luigi are kept. Brothers, plumbers, Italian. They got decent backstory. We find out Luigi was adopted. I can call them characters. Daisy, Koopa, basically everyone else, all the way down to Yoshi, we got almost nothing. And Daisy's supposed to be a main character. They just rushed through her introduction and her meeting Mario and Luigi. They have to explain all this stuff for world building, but at the cost of character building. There are times it feels like a 5-year-old wrote this. Luigi is bad with women. It's a running joke. He's trying to help Daisy out, but then the movie has him ask Daisy on a date, and it just works. Would you just say yes to a date if a guy just gave you a quarter to use the phone? You'd thank him, but that's pretty much it. This love interest has no believability. Then there's this rivalry between the Mario Bros. Plumbing with the Scapelli construction. It doesn't go anywhere except for one joke at the end. It feels more like 10 minutes was cut out of the film because this is Daisy's backstory. Daisy was brought over from the other dimension. She's a dinosaur human. The movie really starts getting ridiculous here. A human baby was born from an egg, and the whole reason why she's kidnapped is because she has a piece of the meteorite that will recombine the two dimensions together. How they know this? Who knows? It gets more dumb later when it comes with the portal door. So they need the last piece and her in order to do all this. Daisy on Earth became a paleontologist. The Scapelli construction company that Mario hates because he doesn't get work, they steal his jobs before he does, somehow.
They beat us to it again. Another lost job.
They were working on a building site when they found dinosaur bones underground. Scapelli construction got delayed because museums came in and started investigating. So they were being jerks to Daisy's team. This is how the movie does everything.
You know, a lot of girls have been going missing in Brooklyn lately. I'd be careful.
It's a mess in the first 20 minutes. You'd think you'd make Mario, Luigi, and Daisy's bonding start over the hatred of Scapelli. Instead, it goes from she's pissed off at Scapelli's threat, looks for a payphone, Luigi thinks she's cute, here, take the phone and my quarter, then yeah, let's go on a date. How do you miss the obvious thing to do? I can't buy these 3 writers missing this. Let's get back to the dinosaurs. What I get from what the movie is trying to explain, the meteor that hit in Brooklyn that made the portal, the meteor is on the other side and was the cause of the mutations, making the dinosaurs evolve into humans. Okay, fine. But Daisy finds 2 dinosaurs that died near the doorway that was showing early signs of evolution.
These are all strange new species. The way the bones fit here and the opposable thumb, it was a monster trying to be a human being.
That means this doorway was active for several thousand years. Evolution needs time. If you try to say, well, the meteor could have accelerated the evolution process, but they forgot where the portal was, and since the other planet has limited resources, they really couldn't go far, so you can't use evolution was sped up without making Koopa look even worse. So I'm thinking the meteor had some sort of instinct imprinted on the dinosaurs to keep them using the door. There's no other way to explain how they survived. They had to have been able to freely move between the 2 dimensions on a regular basis. Why then did it get buried? And why did they just drop dead in front of the door? That should never have happened. These dinos were using the doorway during the Ice Age. It's like the script said, this happened, and that's it. What really annoys me, they wrote themselves into a corner, all because they didn't want Dennis Hopper and the others being in dinosaur makeup. Next up, the Koopa universe, and it starts off stupid with the portal itself. The portal is located a few hundred feet down a small waterfall overhanging a really big drop. It's a big deal for Mario to go through. Well, that won't matter once they get to the other side. The movie will just conveniently forget this because Mario needs to be delayed in order to allow the plot to go forward. The stupidest part, Daisy is sticking her face through the portal exit when that makes no sense. When we see the portal is like a 1,000-foot drop. How is she doing that? What the hell is going on? Once Mario and Luigi cross, we finally see the Koopa universe in its full glory. Are we on the wrong set? Is this Blade Runner or Batman? So you want us to suspend our disbelief on dinosaurs evolving into humans. Now you want us to accept that dinosaurs, who've been disconnected from Earth for millions of years, are a different species, somehow are able to make technology that's virtually identical to Earth designs. I can't believe I'm saying all this in a Mario movie. Yeah, I can see the references on the neon signs. Oh look, there's the Hammer Bros. That doesn't change the fact I'm looking at a Judge Dredd set being called the Mushroom Kingdom. So we finally get the big reveal of Koopa being played by Dennis Hopper. I remember my 12-year-old self seeing this movie for the first time. My brain shut off. This movie is worse than that stupid Star Trek Voyager episode where they showed that aliens took dinosaurs from Earth, they evolved into bipeds, and it was this whole thing about them denying they came from Earth, some sort of cover-up. That made more sense than this. Honestly, maybe this helps the film. People are so turned off by what they're seeing, you don't even notice the other plot holes. Koopa goes into info dump mode, explaining that they were exiled to this horrible world. They have no resources. Here's that word again. That's why the city is in disarray. People don't care about their lives. They're saying all this, but I'm seeing some fantastical technology that's far superior than what Earth has. Jump boots, a evolve, de-evolve machine. That machine itself is a freaking plot hole. You have the Goomba army. Yes, that's a Goomba. Koopa explained one thing to me. At one point, you had to have access to the portal. They had to have had to study the meteor at some point. The reason why Daisy was on Earth was because her mother brought her there because she knew Koopa was taking over. So why didn't you slowly take over Earth? You overthrew the original king, Ganondorf style, but now you go into dumb mode? You look human, you have a dinosaur army, you could have came to Earth, infiltrated and influenced things to take it over bit by bit. You're making the gold from Stargate look amazing. It gets worse. At this point, if you're a fan of the games, you're confused or mad, then they show you Toad in the movie. Yeah, this guy is Toad. He's just some random guy playing music. All I see is, here's your game reference, let's get back to the Mad Max movie. Mario and Luigi get arrested, Koopa needs the stone after all. They go through the system, you see the cop guy, but right next to him, he has a BDSM woman? What is this tone shift? Is it a kid's movie or an adult movie? Make up your freaking mind. There is no internal logic to how this place works. I get the anarchy. Most people would hate Koopa. He did take over the place from the original king. I'll get to him later. But then you have this underlying plot where Koopa seems to hate dinosaurs.
Yoshi is a pet of the royal family. You may pet him.
They go as far as eating them, abusing Yoshi, which is a normal dinosaur for some reason. I don't understand any of this. More questions are being piled on. Did some dinosaurs evolve into humans, or was Yoshi originally a human that got de-evolved? If that's the case, no one seems to care to fix him at the end of the film. Speaking of the evolve, de-evolve machine, it's used more as a joke and a Deus Ex. It's there to explain how Koopa took over. He turned the Mushroom King into a literal mushroom plant. That's not how evolution works. That would be a mutation. This only exists to give the movie that one moment where Mario uses a mushroom to help him. This machine is beyond plot hole. It's a black hole. It does whatever the story needs, because why wouldn't Koopa use the machine on himself to make him smarter? No, he just doesn't do it. Because reasons. The movie tries to frame this as a bad thing. And I'm still asking, how the hell did you make this technology? If you can manipulate the DNA of a person to basically whatever, turn people into things that can eat sand. Boom! Movie done! At this point, I don't care what the movie does anymore. Yeah, we get the big moment when Mario and Luigi dress up in their video game colors. They save the day. They throw in a few more references like Bullet Bill, and they try to make the ba-bomb a big joke. Why would I care about seeing this? Everything else is screwed up. This is not going to fix anything. They save Daisy. Daisy saves Earth from being merged. Blink and you miss it moment when Mario uses the mushroom. You get to see a 3-second shot of Mario being Big Mario, but because they're transported back to the Koopa universe, I refuse to call it Dino Manhattan. It's done and over with. They constantly forget about the huge drop the portal's next to. Mario defeats Koopa, which somehow reverts the king back to normal. So now the evolved machine is a magic spell? I swear to God. There are things I do like in the film. Mario and Luigi.
Was that superior driving skills or what?
Some of the side plot lines, like the woman bouncer, I thought that whole thing with Mario and her was funny. If this was all in a different movie, not tied to the Mario name, just some alternate dimension where two guys get thrown into having some crazy adventure, I think I would have liked it, kind of like Total Recall. That movie was all over the place. It was fun. We get this instead. If it was one thing, okay, it could have worked out, but every explanation they gave broke the world more and more. The Super Mario Bros. Movie started the video game movie's failure. Nearly every time they did a game movie, they screwed it up somehow, with very few exceptions, the recent ones being Detective Pikachu and Sonic. It became a curse. I want to see a video game movie. I don't want to see the Resident Evil movies, taking names and characters and doing whatever they want. It's taken 30 years, but we're going to get a second attempt at a Mario movie. This time, it's going to be an animated one, like it was supposed to be. I know the film became a cult classic. It has a charm to itself. It's a thing of its time. It's just a huge disappointment to what it was supposed to be. A Mario movie. Not Mad Max, not Sonic the Hedgehog, not Zelda, and not Back to the Future. Thanks for checking out the review. Subscribe if you want to see more. And if you remember a movie or show that's long been forgotten, good or bad, leave it as a suggestion below. I'm always on the lookout for obscured stuff.